Hello and welcome to Zen Woman. So today we're outside. It was actually sunny when I set up the camera, but it's England and the clouds are coming over, so we'll get this done before the rain starts. Today I wanted to do a little talk about being outside and nature and how good it really is for you. I know some of you live in cities and it's really difficult to find the trees and that sort of thing and make time for it in your day, but here's why you should. And why it's important to find that space within yourself where you can connect with nature, even if it's just finding a park in the middle of the city where you could just close your eyes for a moment, listen to the birds, feel the grass between your toes, whatever it is. So we all know that it's good for us to listen to the birds. I don't know if you can actually hear them from here. There's loads of birds chirping away around me right now. It's making me smile. We all know that it's good for you to listen to the birds, to get the fresh air, to feel the sun on your skin. But do we know how good it really is? So I've been doing a little bit of research into this, and there was a study which started back in the 1980s at the Paulo Memorial Hospital. And one of the physicians noticed that I've forgotten the word, the people who were recovering, there was differences in the recovery rates depending on which rooms the subjects, we'll call them patients, that's it. English language, it's my natural language, but I can't use it. So the patients that were in rooms with windows that faced other walls or car parks would recover at said level. Patients who had the rooms that faced the trees and could see the trees out of the window were recovering more progressively. So they started to do a little experiment, and they would ensure that they could monitor the other factors as much as possible. So they would place patients that had same sort of operation, same sort of age, sex, same sort of lifestyle habits, smokers or non-smokers, and they really started to take notice of this. And they discovered that on average, those in the wall-facing, the man-made facing windows, took 1 extra day for recovery. Now these are not major surgeries, but you think 1 extra day, whereas the others they found were actually 4 times better off with regards to their recovery in the long run than those that faced the man-made wall. So the people that could look out and see nature were recovering much faster. They also needed less painkillers. So those that could see the trees needed about 1 dose of painkillers in the middle of their day, one of the sort of stronger doses. Those that had the rooms facing the man-made walls would need 2 or 3 or occasionally 4 doses of the same painkillers for the same procedures, the same sort of people, same lifestyles. That's quite a big difference. So then they started to do some therapies. They have started to do some therapies in Japan and in Germany. Forest bathing, they call it, some natural therapy, and it's all about getting people outside. So you get people out in the forest, walking around, taking in the scenery, listening to the sounds, feeling the earth, that sort of thing. And again, they started to notice some differences with these people. They would have, and these weren't necessarily ill people, they were people dealing with stress and things like that. So instantly the cortisol levels dropped and the blood pressure dropped. Massive indicators of high stress, like noticeably dropped. And they started to notice that these people were having more emotional balance. They were feeling psychologically more stable. They realized that being out in nature and spending the time in nature was the building block for psychological and physical well-being. It was essential. The reasoning behind this, because although obviously some cities are beautiful, we can be in the city and we can look at the architecture, and the sculptures, and we can appreciate, the sort of hive of activity that is mankind, particularly in some places, say in India, where they wear all the beautiful bright colours, and it really is stunning, but it's not relaxing. All this sort of man-made input is very strong. It's very sort of enforceful into your senses. It bombards the senses with this array of input, which is sometimes quite nice, it's quite stimulating, but it's not necessarily what we need to be healthy, or not all the time. Whereas the nature gives us a chance to think or not think as much as we want to. It's unobtrusive. It gives us a chance to really replenish. The mind can calm and tune in with the nature. There's no forcefulness. We can watch it, we can think or not. It just gives you a chance to really breathe. We're not trying to see like here, everything's like it's so much so great for you. They're actually even doing researches now into how this can help with people with cancer. Not necessarily, sit in a forest and it'll cure your cancer. Maybe if you believe it enough, the power of the placebo would do that. But more the case of people that are living in the countryside, people that can get out into the forest when they're having treatments and between treatments for cancers and things like that, are actually starting to show better recovery. And they put this down to people with a stronger mental attitude and mental well-being are going to be better at following the regimes for recovery. They're going to be stronger, stronger willed. They're going to, like the power of the mind. If you're strong in the mind, it's amazing how much stronger you are in the body. So yeah, we're not saying that it's going to cure cancer just yet, but it is a massive help to all sorts of illness, whether they're physical, psychological, whatever it is. So get outside. Even if you live in the middle of a really busy city, there is always somewhere. I've traveled a lot of cities in the world. We've been to places in India and it's busy. Go down, you can find the gander, find the river, and just take a few moments listening to the water. In Rome, they've got all the parks. Same in Perth, in London, you can even find the little parks. We were at a shamanic course in London recently, and we did some tree hugging. And yeah, there was railway lines going overhead, and you could smell food being cooked everywhere, and there were school kids running around the park. But you can still just take a moment to connect with that tree, grass, whatever it is. You don't have to hug the trees, you can just be within them and take it in. Or by the coast, or wherever you can get. Even if you can only sort of do it once on the weekends, and even if it's bad weather, really wrap up warm and get out and just take it in. It's so good for you, and it will have such an impact on your life, and it's totally free. Give it a go. Send me a message and let me know, or put it on our Facebook, where you've been and how you felt about it. Thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you get outside this week. Bye.